Hey guys, so I wanted to talk through the part of media production that I find to be the easiest or what stands out to me, and that's what my current internship revolves around. And what I'm mainly focusing on within this internship is editing and post-production, but specifically within post-production, just mainly editing. So yeah, I'm gonna talk us through here kind of a project that I recently have finished and what I did to get it to the finished product. So this edit here was an edit that I did for a anniversary party for one of the company that I'm interning at, one of their clients. And so they gave me all the footage that they shot at the event and said, hey, can you make us like a hype reel, basically, kind of promoting and allows the company to show off the event to their followers on social media. So on here, I have my first timeline here, and this timeline is just really a mess of all of the B-roll that I was given. And as you can see, it's all over the place. When I'm given the B-roll, the first thing I like to do is just pull it all into a timeline here. And I'll keep this timeline separate from my actual edit. It allows to keep it a lot neater. So first thing that I'll do with this timeline, as you can see here, is just a bunch of B-roll from the party. I'll go through all of that, and I'll go through and choose selects, and selects are basically the best from the clips. So for me, there's two tiers here. The bottom tier was my first pass through all of the B-roll. Of this B-roll down here was everything that I thought was good, everything I would potentially use. So I'd go through and I'd cut specific parts out of clips that I thought were good enough to keep, and I'd put it down here in this little B-roll section. And then this first tier up here, this was after I had started to piece together the edit, and I wanted specific shots to go on specific parts of the edit. So those I would pull out and put up here, so those would be like my first choice. Those would be the ones that I knew. This is always the first part to editing, is going through the B-roll and making selects for me. And it can be pretty time consuming at first, but it's kind of key for an edit. And another thing that this allows you to do is really familiarize yourself with the content that you're working with. Something I'll do is I will go through maybe 1, 2, 3 times and just watch all of the B-roll so I get an idea of where everything's at and just the content in general, which can be a little time consuming. As you see, this is 20 minutes of footage. The second part of editing that I go to once I finish going through the B-roll is choosing music, choosing audio. Specifically for this type of edit, the music was what was really going to carry the edit. So I spent a lot of time on music sites and a lot of time looking for what I thought was gonna be the right song choice for this. So once I found that piece of music, the next thing I did was I started to build my round 1 edit. That's what you see here. This is the finished round 1 edit, and so I pulled the music that I wanted to use into here and started to piece it together. Now this first edit, this first round I went through, and one thing that I wanted to do was to use some animated words through here. So I went through and I made all of my text first in Fusion, and then I started to piece together the rest of the edit. I took those first here B-roll and I pieced them into the timeline depending on what I wanted to put where. Once that's all done, I ended up trying my hand at color grading. Typically at the place I'm interning at, the editor doesn't do the color grading. There's a person who specifically does that, But this being an internship, I'm wanting to learn as much as I can. So I tried my hand at color grading for the first time on this edit and another one that I previously did. This first pass, I do need to go back in and work on some of the grades. They're not perfect, they're not ready to go, but it was good for an R1. So that's kind of the whole process that I use to get to my R1. So this R1 is complete, and I recently gotten feedback from everybody, so now I'm gonna go and start making an R2. Basically my process for that is gonna be a little bit different. I kind of have everything built here, but what I'm gonna do is create a new timeline. I'm gonna bring in some other music pieces, just play them under this piece, this R1 I already have, and see if they fit the vibe more than what I currently have, and then really just take the comments and the feedback that I got and work it into the R2 and move things around, change things depending on that feedback that I got. That's my process in editing. I hope that's helpful. Everyone's process is a little bit different, but that's what mine is. So, thank you for watching.